Welcome to What is Going On for new thought from the edge of Om. Each week on Om Times flagship radio show, veteran broadcaster, author, and media consultant Sandie Sedgbeer conducts thought-provoking interviews with inspirational authors, artists, musicians, scientists, speakers, and filmmakers who are working at the point where spirituality and science meet consciousness at the very edge of Om. Here is your host, Sandie Sedgbeer.
Hello. In 2018, a physician, chemist, researcher, and undercover podcast host by the name of Baba Masha embarked on a 4-year research project in which thousands of volunteers from all continents self-microdosed with a sacred psychoactive mushroom known as Amanita Muscaria. The purpose of the project was to study the effects of microdoses of AM on the human body to determine its optimal dosages, the stability of its effects, its analgesic properties, and to document the range of diseases and conditions it might be able to help. It was the first international study on the medicinal effects of microdosing with Amanita Muscaria, and the results were eye-popping. Baba Masha, MD, joins me now to discuss the extraordinary results of her research documented in her book, Microdosing with Amanita Muscaria, Creativity, Healing, and Recovery with the Sacred Mushroom, which shares how more than 3,000 volunteers experienced such positive outcomes from a broad range of health conditions, ailments, pain, and addictions that one can't help wondering if this sacred mushroom is the nearest thing we've ever found to a medicinal cure-all. Baba Masha, welcome.
I'm glad to be here with you, Sandie. It was a long time due.
Yes, we've waited a long time to have this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, you're a pediatrician, an OB-GYN with a doctorate in medicine and bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. And Baba Masha is not your real name. Rather, Baba Masha is what you call a virtual character that you created to broadcast a harm reduction podcast called Radio Psychedelics in Russian-speaking territories. You've been doing that since 2014. Before we talk about your studies with Amanita, I'd like to know a bit more about your Psychedelics podcast and why you needed to broadcast under a pseudonym.
First part of my life, I was studying official medicine. It was 12 years of medical school with following practice. And I'm very proud of how medicine progressed over time. But this progress has two sides of a coin. So about 20 years ago, I switched to plants. First, just of my curiosity and some health problems, which I cannot resolve with official medicine. So I studied psychedelic plants about over a decade, and I had amazing results. And I studied a lot of plants, basically everything what was available, and it was cannabis, ayahuasca, iboga, psychedelic and non-psychedelic remedies. And after I have had my own experience, in 2013, I opened psychedelic podcast. And Baba Masha is my pen name. The closest English translation of Baba Masha is a Jane Doe. It's some woman from nowhere, and it was the name of my podcast, Radio Psychedelics with Baba Masha, with Jane Doe. So the program, as you said, it was a harm reduction program for post-Soviet territories. Why did I do that? Because for last 30 years, I live in the United States, and all information is available to us. We're so lucky we can read about everything because we have freedom of speech. And on post-Soviet territories, the major websites on psychedelic plants are not accessible websites, forums is Iravid, Shroomery, map.org, and other were blocked. And young generation, they don't make any difference between taking designer drugs like synthetic catenones, so-called salt baths, and psychedelic plants. They don't know about high rate of developing dependency. It could cause organ damage, hormone imbalance, all kinds of diseases, and their long-lasting consequences of taking designer drugs. That's why I opened my podcast on medical benefits. So in 2013, I was very first person who went public on post-Soviet territories and started talk openly about psychedelic plants, health benefits, history, medicinal use, rule, dosage, settings, including my own experience. And I posted over 1,400 hours of my work, over 700 podcasts for 10 years. And it was interactive program. I created anonymous live chats on social media platform to discuss medicinal effects. And also I was running live streams about 4, 5, 6 hours conversation with over 100,000 participants. I was doing it on different platforms, including Clubhouse, Telegram. And then I started doing anonymous interviews with people with major questions like, why do you take in psychedelic plants? What did you expect? What was before? What results? What is after that? So I probably was doing a good thing because Russian Federation government blocked my podcast in 2018. I opened another one. They found me 2 years later and blocked me in 2020. And I switched to social media, Telegram, and I opened over 20 channels on different plans separately. So they just blocked me in November. So I kind of gave up. I don't want to restore this information over and over because I published 2 books and it's probably enough. So I shut it down because I don't want to do it anymore. And in 2018, Amanita Muscaria came in my life. It was a kind of an accident. I didn't plan it because in 2014, I read a book, James Fadiman, on microdosing of magic mushrooms. I tried it on myself. It took me a couple years to document the results on myself and my people close to me. And then I announced it in 2016. And after that, I was loaded with information. People were writing me about taking microdoses of Amanita Muscaria. So in 2018, I built up the first group. It was 67 people. They were from different countries. They didn't know each other. I was talking with them weekly, documenting the results, and the information was so consistent. So I tried it myself. I tried it myself, and it was such a pain relief because at that time I was suffering from excruciating pain, and it just gave me a new start. And that's why I'm a believer, because it's changed my life. So I announced this, I announced the results which I collected from 67 people in February 2019. And by September, I had over 2,000 volunteers. So I built up a group.
It looks as though that was
This,
are you there, Baba?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So
we lost connection there. So you built up a group.
I built up a group, and by 2022, I had over 20,000 volunteers. which were taking Amanita Muscaria from 0.1 gram to 50 grams. I wrote in 2020, I wrote Russian book, which was basically results for first year of my research. And it was downloaded over 250,000 times because I gave it for free to people who worked with me just to see what we achieved as a group. And in 2020, I sold my book to the publisher, and the book was printed in 2022. And I think right now it's close to 100,000 sold copies at this moment.
Wow.
According to the check I received.
So what's so special about Amanita? You've tried all the others. You know, what is different about this particular plant?
You know, each plant gives different results. I cannot say Amanita is better than anything. It's not. I did a systematic research on different plants. It's not my first project. I studied marijuana. I had a whole questionnaire before I came to Amanita. I already collected data on different plants. Each plant gives certain results to people, to sick people. Let's say if we'll take Parkinson's disease. We studied Parkinson's disease with taking Amanita, but I will tell you the better results with Parkinson's disease will be, my choice will be cannabis, because neither cannabis nor Amanita cures Parkinson. Nothing cures Parkinson, but the quality of life could be improved, right? So cannabis, microdosing of cannabis with patients with Parkinson's disease, it removes tremor, it's clear the mind, elevate their mood, they just feel better. Not so much with Amanita. I put here, if you read how many diseases we studied, it's about 150 different medical condition. It's not like Amanita cure all of them. We're talking about the condition, because the question I put in my questionnaire with 150 medical conditions is my condition is better, worse, or no results. We're not talking about cure. Let's say take psoriasis. Amanita doesn't cure psoriasis, but it puts psoriasis in a long 6 months remission, right? It doesn't cure, let's say, Alzheimer, but it makes quality of life better. And I think because Amanita is a very intriguing mushroom, Amanita, because most studied Amanita muscaria chemicals are ibotenic acid and muscimol, and they are analogs of primary neurotransmitters in mammal central nervous system. There is no mushroom which has the same chemical properties. That's why. So I think first of all, Amanita muscaria gives people some mental balance, and all comes from here, because most diseases comes from here. So, but it's not only ibotenic acid and muscimol. Amanita has over 100 chemical compounds. It's in a trace amount, but still, when we microdose, because Amanita microdosing is not taking big doses. For 4 years of study, I find out we need to take it very small dosages from 0.1 to half gram, not more than 1 gram a day, but regularly, consistently, and it gives you much better results when people take big doses randomly, because it doesn't do anything. But we have a lot of different chemicals, different ingredients in Amanita muscaria, and the same ingredients we can find in other plants. let's say, beta-lamic acid and choline, all kind of, because plants were intersect in chemical compounds. That's Amanita Muscaria doesn't stay aside in better than anything. You know, when I was taking care of my mental problems, I tried everything and I found this plant affects this plant affects that. So it have to be a combination, because Amanita Muscaria is not cure for everything. Like some people say, oh, I'll take Amanita Muscaria and I'm gonna have immortality and I'm gonna be young and beautiful. No, it's just certain plants for certain conditions. That's
But
what
when
my
you
opinion.
when you read the book, and you've got over 800 empirical, personal reports from people who were part of participants in the study, and when you read these, you think, oh my God, it's helped that person's migraine, it's helped that person's, Crohn's disease, it's helped this person with, hormonal problems, and it reads as though it is a cure-all because it seems to help everything.
There's big difference between cure and alleviating their symptoms. It's a big difference. That's what people mix. Let's say I treat my husband last year on Christmas. He broke his leg on mountain trails skiing, and I cured him with Amanita. We didn't take any painkillers, and his leg swelled, and it was excruciating pain. And I treat him with Amanita tincture. Amanita took inflammation. It took the swelling, and it took the pain away, but it didn't cure the problem because the broken bones were not cured with Amanita. See my point?
Yeah,
that's what it is. But we were doing month by month, week by week, month by month, because after 10 days of surgery, his leg was that big, and I have it all documented. And when we were taking stitches in the doctor's office, his leg was so big. And I saw in his doctor eyes, he was a great surgeon, but he didn't know what to do to take the swelling. I said, don't worry about it. I brought my husband home from the hospital. I took all these rubs. I wrap it with Amanita tincture. I made an overnight compress. And 8 hours later, I took a photograph and I sent it to doctor. Doctor blocked me because he thought I did a Photoshop. I understand him. I totally understand. He is a medical professional. If like 40 years ago, when I was sitting in my office, some woman will come to me and say, oh, Baba Masha, there is someone. I say, okay, security, take her away. I understand him, but that's what the results.
Yeah.
It took, but at the evening, it's all come back, the pain come back, the swelling come back. So I wrapped it again, and we did it consistently. I took him from painkillers, from opioids. He was taking it first 10 days. So we were maintaining this with Amanita, but it didn't cure his
broken leg.
Right.
No, but when you look at some of the, the effects, the conditions, you've got mood enhancer, addictions, Crohn's disease, vision, color perception, and vision as well. I mean, autism. How is it helping all of those things?
Sandie, all the questions I put, we were studying it, and some of them was not successful. Amanita Muscaria doesn't cure Crohn's disease. Just people have general improvement in their condition. When they take in Amanita, they feel easy, they feel more happy, it's enhanced their mood. I have several numbers of where is Amanita wins over any plant. Let's say sleep restoration. Amanita Muscaria is not sleeping pill. It's restore your sleep. After 3 weeks, 1 month of taking Amanita Muscaria, people are able to sleep without anything. It's restore their biological clock. The trick is of in taking Amanita Muscaria is a sleep and restoration remedy. You have to go sleep by 9:30 by your biological clock. If you take Amanita and go sleep at midnight or 2 in the morning, it doesn't work this way, right? So in a sleep restoration is 76%, depression 80%, using tincture in muscular spasms 86%, HDD 88%, and no side effects. Hot flashes 80%, panic attacks 87%, neuropathic pain 87%, epilepsy 82%, using tincture for skin burns 84%, eczema 82%, pain relief tincture in general, any pain, migraine pain, arthritis, any pain, trauma, broken bones, it's 89%. It's a big number. Even you divide it by 2, it's still big.
It's a big number, absolutely.
It's a big number.
With no side effects.
No side effects. And the most important and surprising thing which we discovered is a group, because it was no such information at all. It's Amanita microdosing is a dependency antidote, because a lot of people were reaching me and saying, oh, this is placebo, blah, blah, blah. Forget it. There is no placebo for alcoholics. There is none. So I have 86% and only 12% from that group, over 800 people of using alcohol. Oh my God, my dogs. Only 12% of people who were heavily using alcohol returned to previous state. So opioids, methadone, fentanyl, oxycontin, heroin 74, designer drugs, bath salts 89, amphetamine 79, and it was a discovery of a positive effects Amanita Muscaria on various drug addiction during this project development was a really good surprise, because Amanita Muscaria also challenged unhealthy thoughts and behavior associated with drug abuse, according to the information I collected with data in my project, because people, it's changing their mind. They don't want to drink. They just don't want to drink. They think, okay, I'm going to go buy beer or wine, and they find out themselves in a place I don't want to go. So it's change behavior, because it affects the same receptors. The alcohol is a downer for the same receptors, and Amanita is lifting. And it's kind of a replacing therapy, I think. But I don't want to go in the theories, because I want to represent the facts I collected. I don't want to put the theories, explanation why could be anything, but I just want to present what I found.
So people were self-medicating, following advice, but self-medicating. And then they were, writing their reports based on what they felt. How do you know that you can rely on the things that they said?
Because right in the beginning of my project, I created 2 live chats, and it was 8,000 people involved. And I was running it 24/7 with my associate Thomas. He was running one live chat, and I was running another one. We have like 4,000 people in each, and people were writing daily. I took, let's say, 2 grams. I don't feel good. Okay, decrease your dose. Take like half gram. What's going on? People was writing about their effects live. Plus, from those 3,000 people, I probably talk with everybody personally myself. And because we did not know each other and they were giving me information separately, you cannot lie about these things because you don't, it's not like I talk with the person, I said, okay, tell me what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I'm a doctor. I know how to fish information. Because most people saying, oh, it doesn't work for me. But when you start asking simple question, how was your day going? Did you get my dog's going crazy. How was your day? Did you feel good? Did you get angry? How was your work? Did you get upset? What did you do? Did you go for a walk? So you just ask very normal questions. And because I'm professional, I know how to talk with people to get information. And I was talking with them personally. And it was anonymous research for everybody, not for me. Because for 10 years of my research on different plants, I talk with thousands and thousands of people. It was too much work. Now when I start my podcast, I just want to sit in the silence. I don't want to talk with anybody anymore. I just want to go away.
We're going to take a short break now, Baba.
All right.
We'll be back in a few moments with more questions. I've got lots more questions. You're listening to What Is Going On. I'm Sandie Sedgbeer, and my guest today is physician, chemist, researcher, author, and undercover podcast host, Baba Masha. And we're talking about her book, Microdosing with Amanita Muscaria, Creativity, Healing, and Recovery with the Sacred Mushroom. We'll be back with more in a few moments. Stay tuned.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
Hello, I'm Sandie Sedgbeer, host of Om Times' flagship radio show, What Is Going On? And as an author, editor, and 13 times book judge who's read thousands of books and interviewed hundreds of authors, I'm constantly asked what's really worth reading and what's not. So I created the No BS Spiritual Book Club to help you save time and money by picking the brains of discerning names who have walked this path before you. There's no catch, no fees, and no BS. Just an ever-growing library of 10 best spiritual book lists from some of your favourite authors and teachers, plus free book excerpts, audios and video interviews with people like Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., David G., Lee Harris, Mark Nepo and more. From well-known classics to hidden gems you've never heard of, it's the only no BS guide to the best spiritual books to enlighten your journey of self-discovery. So why not join the club? Get inspired and save money at the nobsspiritualbookclub.com.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. Baba Masha, in addition to all of these ailments and conditions that it was helping with, it's also been shown to enhance creativity and sports performance. It looks as though we've got another little freeze on the screen.
Yes, yes.
Here we've had another glitch in the connection. Did you hear what I said?
No, it was
Okay.
frozen.
I was saying that in addition to all of the ailments and conditions that it's helping with, it also enhances creativity and sports performance.
Yes. I want to answer on your previous question about how did I know my volunteer didn't lie. I built up a group of people here in the United States, which I know personally, and I was practicing the small microdoses on them without telling them what it is. Let's say I had a guest and she had a big wound on her leg and she was suffering from pain, and I said, let me do the compress. She said, what is it? I said, oh, don't bother, I'll just do it. We did it overnight. She woke up in the morning. She forgot she had pain. I had another guest. She was, her husband died. She was very deep grieving, depressed, and I start giving her microdoses. I said, take this every morning. 3-4 days, she was like, she was still grieving, but not to that point. I built up a group over 100 people around me, just watching the results, plus a stop. Plus, I was treating my dogs. I have 4 dogs, and one of them a really, really old Rottweiler, and she's suffering from arthritis, in pain, crying, couldn't sleep. I was trying it on her. She doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know what placebo is. And I was watching her. She could, when I got her, she was 10 years old. She couldn't walk. Now we go for 5 miles. She does have pain and she does know it's Amanita Muscaria.
Treating her every day.
I did short courses. I was combining cannabis oil and Amanita Muscaria separately, see what's better for her. And we got over 6-7 months, we got great results. She lost weight, she's healthy, she's like brand new dog.
So one takes it as a course. One doesn't have to keep on taking it to maintain the effects.
In my opinion, it's supposed to be seasonal. You know, Amanita is not the pill like, let's say, high blood pressure pill. You have to take it constantly. It can improve someone's health to the point. It could do certain improvement, but it can't cure let's say, all the diseases I listed here, about 150 diseases. And let's say here in the page, what page is 60, right? Here, see the photograph? This is the person I know, it's my neighbor. She was scheduled for a surgery with goiter and her neck was like this. And she was helping me in testing my English writing of my book before I submitted it to the publisher. She was coming and reading all the letters, how I translated it from Russian to English. And after reading about 100 or 200 letters, she said, Masha, I want it. Give it to me. I said, why? I want to quit smoking. I have alcohol problems. I'm depressed. Just give it to me. And I said, all right. So I did. She used it for 3 weeks. And when I called her, I said, come over. We're going to do next portion of my book. And she walked in my room. You know, I'm trained doctor. And I look on her neck and I said, do you know your tumor shrink? Do you know it's smaller? She said, yeah. I said, what's going on? I said, let's do it. Let's monitor. So I measured her neck. I was giving her dry Amanita. She was taking it in the morning. And then for a night, we were doing Amanita tincture compress. So her surgery was postponed because of COVID. And after COVID was gone, she didn't need a surgery. Right now, when you look at her, you can't see that tumor, but I have a picture of it. It's documented. It cannot be for me because I proved it to myself, and I don't want to prove it to anybody. I just wrote what I collected, and I don't want to say, trust me, people, take it, because I'm not promoting any new products. I'm
You're
not,
not selling anything.
no, I'm not
No.
selling anything. I'm not selling, oh, take Amanita, or I'm not for open new business. I was contacted with a lot of people because when I started, nobody was talking about Amanita microdoses in 2019. Now it's so many people selling it, and I was approached by several business companies, and I said, "What do you want from me? We wanna take you as a face of our company." I said, "No, forget it. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you produce. Oh, we do the concentrated muscimol, blah." I said, "No, I'm not gonna be face of your company. We will pay you money just talking because you know more than anybody about Amanita." I said, "No, forget it. I'm not going for business. I just wrote the book, what I discovered, period. That's it." That's why if I would sell the product and say, "Cindy, there is a good product, take it," and I have to prove it to you, it works, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
You try and you tell me if it works for you or not. If it works, it's good. If not, because it doesn't work for everybody. That's why we have a percentage of people, they say in my question, no results, no results. It's a small group of people saying no results, but we have people like that.
And you do offer information. You tell people about the plant. You tell them where they can find it. You tell them how they can make tinctures or ointments, or something they could have with milk or powder.
Yeah. We created a protocol of microdosing. We created a protocol for 4 years of my research. We find out how long do you take it, when, how to collect, how to harvest, the storage, the method what do you do? Because Amanita is not for lazy people. You have to get up, you have to go in the forest, you have to collect some mushrooms. Yeah, you don't need that much. You need like 10, 5, 7 cups to do the course or 2, because Amanita loses its property over time. About 6, 7 months, you cannot use it, and it's seasonal, And we created the protocol because when we started, we didn't know anything. We didn't know how much to take. So we started with 2 grams, 3 grams, and it was just too much. Over 4 years, we decreased the dose drastically. So it's from 1 point to 0.5, not more than 1 gram. How do we take it? Because if you take Amanita in the morning or at the evening, it will be different results. And it's proven because we were live chatting with people. Let's say people take it in the morning on empty stomach. It's very important to take it in an empty stomach because pH of our pH in our stomach in the morning is 2.7. And it's better. It's like you taking Amanita with lemon acid because it's have to be that kind of pH to improve the digestion. So it's acting like energy drink, mood regulator, motivator, analgesic. You feel full of energy. You work. You don't have this chatterbox talking in your head, and it's enhancing your mood. But if you take the same dose at the evening, you get sleepy right away in half an hour. Not after you eat, before your dinner. For example, season here in California right now, I just collected whole box of Amanitas and I start microdosing. I don't have any conditions, to tell you the truth, but I still microdose 3-4 weeks just for prophylactic. I take it at 7 p.m. in an hour I start yawning and I go sleep. I have good dreams. I don't wake up. And in the morning I'm all energetic and happy.
Can one overdose on it?
Overdose is because Amanita has some psychedelic properties. And if Amanita is ingested for psychoactive experience, the manifestations occur within 2 hours, and it's cause drowsiness, hallucinations, dysphoria, dizziness, delirium, and ataxia, hallucination. And it's not good to take Amanita in big doses because, let's say we talk about magic mushrooms and psychoactive conditions, with so-called trips. There's a certain dose which affect people from 3 to 5 grams. With Amanita, nobody knows. It's strictly individual. Some people can take 5 grams, and it's Amanita Muscaria is dissociative. It's a psychoactive mushroom, but it's called dissociation, which means when you take this certain dose from 5 to 20 grams, your body and mind disconnecting at some point, and mind goes somewhere. Yes, you can have psychedelic experience, some enlightening, blah blah blah, but the body left alone is getting aggressive toward itself. So people, they don't know who they are, they don't know where they are, they're totally uncontrollable. They just think in their dreams they can go through the walls or they can fly, and it can cause physical damage, not because people gonna die from Amanita, because they can kill themselves when they're out. That's the danger of Amanita. And I don't advise you anybody try that as a psychoactive agent because it's really dangerous. But in my study, I have several people who took about 50 grams or more dry mushroom. They didn't die, but they didn't have very good experience because they have broken bones, broken forehead, all in wounds. They find out themselves in blood, urine, totally destroyed house. That's a not very good psychoactive experience, because if people take ayahuasca or magic mushrooms, when you ask them during the trip, what's your name? What year you was born? What's the name of your mother? They can tell you. With Amanita, we're out. It's a psychosis. It's disconnection from your mind. And they could see you as a monster and start fighting you as well. That's a real dangerous mushroom in big
one's
doses.
got to be very careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it legal? Is it legal to pick them, create your own doses?
Yeah.
It is?
It's illegal in Australia, Romania, Holland, and I think that's it. 3 countries, maybe some more. But in Japan, we eat Amanita as a regular mushrooms, because I eat Amanita in big quantities as well. You just have to know how to prepare it. You have to soak it in water for 48 hours, because all Amanita chemical compounds ingredients were water soluble. And if you cut them in small pieces, put it in a big jar, change the water constantly 48 hours, you just cook them as regular mushrooms. A lot of people eating them in Eastern Europe, in Japan, they eat it just regular, and they're real tasty, when you take out all the psychoactive stuff.
Why do you think some mushrooms have properties and others? I mean, I buy shiitake mushrooms in my supermarket, and I eat quite a lot of them, and I've never had, any effects that I'm aware of. What is the difference? Why?
Right now, there is a lot of confusion in the mass media because of money. people start saying, oh, shiitake, shiitake, shiitake. They grown it in some basement on very poison substrate, and they sell it to people as a remedy. People taking it, so, oh, I don't feel anything. Yeah, because mushrooms could be active and help people if they grow in a very real environment. But when you grow those mushrooms in a basement with no light on some poison substrate, you got all the poison from a substrate. It goes in the mushrooms because mushrooms are famous for sucking all the chemicals out of environment where they grow. Not just Amanita. Let's say Amanita was studied for collecting heavy metals. That's why it's very important to collect your mushrooms in an area which is chemically clean. But if it's some factory with some bad environment, let's say vanadium level in Amanita Muscaria is skyrise. So me personally, I go for 6 hours driving in an area like national park. There's no people for miles and miles and miles. There's no people, no factories, no roads. That's where I collect my mushrooms. I even have one friend, he bought my book. He bought some Amanita online, took it, and he said, I don't feel anything. I said, listen, I wrote in my book, don't buy anything over internet. You don't know who picked them up. You don't know where they.
It looks as though we've had another.
You don't know how old those mushrooms. How do you know? Because you even don't know what you buy. Yeah, and it's cost a lot of money. But in reality, you have to think straight. You don't know what you're buying at all.
No, absolutely. You don't know what you're buying, and you don't know how old it is.
Right. And then this season, about 3 weeks ago, I collected my own mushrooms. I made them only 15 grams of dry. 15 grams is enough for a month of taking Amanita. And I gave them that powder, and I said, take it half gram in the morning, half gram at the evening, and write me a report. If nothing happened, just write me a report, nothing happened. He took it about a week. He started feeling better. He's 74 years old. And I asked him specifically, what do you expect? What do you want? He said, I want more energy. I want a better sleep. I want a better mood. I want to be more active. He got it because it was fresh from the forest. I dried it. I put it from my coffee grinder. I gave it to him. And they were fresh. And it worked. It works. And whatever he bought for $100 over internet, you can harm yourself easily by some unknown substance, even it looks good, and doesn't matter what people say, because we start believing in advertising. Like very popular. It's very popular right now to buy some buds, and they say, "Oh, it can improve your brain. It's going to give you this and that and that," and it's people buying it in millions. And it didn't, nobody approved it. Nobody checked what is in. Hello? Why you believing in some letters on a box? Even it says on a box it's gonna do this, this, and this. First, we don't know what's inside. Even though it's what they claim, we don't know if our body can digest that form they put it in that box. So it's real complicated. And I have my own strict things what I follow. And Sandie, I'm 70 years old. I have nothing on my disease list, none. I don't take any pills. And recently I went to check my vision, and my physician, oh, let's get your blood pressure. Forget it, just don't touch me. How much aspirin do you take? I don't take aspirin. How much? What is it? What pills do you take? None. Why? The question is why.
Did you tell him why?
I didn't. I don't want to even get in that conversation. I said, give me the reference to my to the eye doctor. I don't want to even talk with you about it. And she's like, why you don't take aspirin? Because it's very strange, you know. I
You know,
run my, I'm sorry, I run my tests regularly in my age, all my blood tests, everything. I go to different country, I test all my perfect. It's just in the range of 30, 40 years old, you know. I don't need to take aspirin. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
That's okay. A question about, you know, people talk about ayahuasca and they talk about the lady, you know, the mother, the energy of the plant, a feminine energy, and many people say they see her. Is there something associated with Amanita? I mean, do you believe that this plant is conscious? Do you believe that it has some kind of guiding energy that works with it?
Yes, it is. I was taking ayahuasca for 10 years, every 6 months. I got a research group based on San Francisco Institute. It was some medical professionals and people were researching it for over 60 years. And I trusted them because I'm not going to go to some shaman in the jungle and take ayahuasca. It's not my style. So I was doing it in a group of researchers. And it's true. I didn't believe in it at all, Sandie. It's very hard for me to believe. So when I came first time in a group of 15 people and we start saying about intention, power, I was like, oh my God. But but when I took it, in the first part of my life, because I was a physician, I don't believe in those things, you know. And when I met personally everything what I was dismissing from my life, I didn't have any health issues by that time. And before you go, you have to tell people around you what's your intention. And they say, why are you going there, Masha? I said, because I want to know what it is. And it was so strange for me. It's improved me drastically, you know. It took my aggression away. It's show me what love means physically. It's very hard to explain because you cannot translate it on a human language, what you experience. But the visions I have, the mood what I had, and I could monitor myself, what's going on with my body. You feel such a lightness. You feel such a your crispy brain. It's all, you come out of a ayahuasca trip. It lasts 3, 4, up to 6 months. Your color perception, perception of the world, perception of the people you love, you become much more softer. You start care about them. You don't have all this moods up and down. You care about people. You're such a soft, and it's really, really great experience. That's how I started. The ayahuasca pushed me this direction, and when I start going to that direction, studying as a doctor, because I can observe the changes in my life. I did.
But Amanita doesn't do that.
No. Amanita in this, I will put it between the plants I tried. And I have to tell you, I tried a lot. I tried cleansing kamba, poison frog. I tried all kind of remedies, shamanic remedies, psychedelic and non-psychedelic, and each of them has certain qualities we can use. If you use it in moderation, if you know why you're using it, and it's not just one substance like Amanita, you have to take several different plants to maintain your brain and body. And it's a lifestyle. Because if people drink on the weekends, take drugs, dance all night, watch TV, eat garbage food, don't exercise. If they take Amanita or not, doesn't make any difference for them at all.
We are actually almost out of time now. So what would one piece of advice you would give people who are considering trying Amanita? What would it be?
Be careful, go collect it yourself. Don't trust anybody. Don't buy it over internet. If you want to try it, don't be lazy. Go get it. And I have a protocol in that book. I have everything. I have protocol, how to store, how to collect, how to take it, try it. If it works for you, that's good. If not, forget it. Look for something else, because there is a lot of plants and our medicine was based on plants.
Yes.
We just switched to pure chemicals now, but it was based on plants.
Yeah.
Initially. That's my advice.
Thank you. Baba Masha, thank you for joining us today. It's been most interesting.
You're welcome.
Microdosing with Amanita Muscaria, creativity, healing and recovery with the sacred mushroom is published by Park Street Press, a division of Inner Traditions and Company, and it can be purchased directly from the Inner Traditions website and from online bookstores. And you can still see Baba Masha's podcast with English subtitles on YouTube at Amanita Microdosing Baba Masha, all one word. Before we close, if you prefer the flexibility of listening to viewing, this show is also available as a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google, Audible, all the major podcast platforms, and at ometimes.com. That's it for this week. I'm Sandie Sedgbeer. I'll be back with another edition of What Is Going On at the same time next week. Till then, it's goodbye from me, and thank you again to Baba Masha.
Thank you, Sandie. You have a good day.